Hey guys, and welcome back to Ria's Autism World. Please give my video a thumbs up and subscribe to help my new channel out. So today I'm going to be discussing autism regression. This is where your autism symptoms seemingly get worse over the years. So for me, my autism symptoms started to worsen when I hit 18. This is when my proper meltdown started. So I think they started on my third year of college. I would get upset when a bus driver would drive off on purpose. I would start screaming and swearing, sometimes even at the driver, and they would tell me off, but then I would be like, well, you saw me and you drove off on purpose. And then there was this other time where I was in the middle of a college course interview, and this horrible teacher purposely ruined the interview for me, saying Ria doesn't really want to be on this course, she will not be suitable, and basically I lost my place on the course because of her. So then I left the building and I started literally just screaming and raging through my local shopping centre, and I got thrown out by security guards for my behaviour. And then there was my 19th or 20th birthday. I cannot remember exactly which birthday it was, but yeah, it was one of those. Anyway, I was in my local library with my friend and we were using the computers and I was speaking a little too loudly. Anyway, the staff came over and told me off, saying, can I please keep the noise down because we've had a few complaints about you and the noise. Now, I do not like being told off under any circumstance. It just sets off a meltdown for me. And yeah, so that set off a massive meltdown on my 19th or 20th birthday. And like they threatened to call the police on me and I threatened to call the police on them for harassment, and I came like storming out the building. I ripped the door like that to get out the building, and yeah, it was horrific. But yeah, that was like one of my early meltdowns. And then there was this other time when I was doing this summer activity course at college and they let my friend use the printer. However, I wanted to use the printer as well and they said, sorry, you can't use the printer because my friend was using the printer to do her college work. So then I literally picked up a chair and threw it across the room. So yeah, that is when my anger and meltdowns first started. And at the time I didn't have my autism diagnosis because I was only 19 at the time. But yeah, back then my meltdowns weren't as regular. They were only every, say, couple of months or so. So yeah, they weren't as regular as they are now. So I think my symptoms really started to worsen after a sudden family death when I was 24. Okay, so these are chunkier paragraphs and I'm not very good at remembering scripts, so I'm going to have to like hold my iPad and read out the lines at the same time because I cannot remember them otherwise. I'm totally guilty of scripting out my YouTube videos. I suddenly became angry more often. More things started to upset me. I would be having more and more disagreements and arguments with people when I was out and on places like eBay. And my meltdowns became more frequent. Then in 2019, I went from having a normal obsession in handbags, something someone my age should be into, to being obsessively into vintage kids' toys. I am literally obsessed with collecting vintage girls' toys from my childhood. Whenever I'm out, I will hit the charity shops and excitedly start rummaging through the plush baskets. And then during my late teens and early 20s, I would always be more interested in searching for clothes, which is considered more normal for my age group. Now we move forward to post-lockdown, say 2021. I can no longer be left alone in the house. It now causes me massive anxiety. Before COVID, I used to have a music afternoon on a Friday, but now being left causes me too much anxiety. And also, since 2021, my decision making has gotten worse. I will freak out and get upset if I can't decide on a place to go. And once I do decide on a place, I will spend the rest of the time thinking I should have gone to the other place, and it was a big mistake not going there. 2022 and this year have brought the worst of all when it comes to my autism regression. Something upsets me nearly every time I go out now, and it's usually to do with buses or a change of routine. The littlest things will set off my anger and meltdowns now. For example, the other Saturday I was late leaving my nearest city. It was a Saturday, which is my fish cake and chips treat night. The fish and chip shop closes at 5:30 and I wasn't going to get home in time. I was literally freaking out through my city centre and shouting out at the top of my lungs that my day was ruined and that I had been looking forward to my tea all day, and teenagers were laughing at me. Then on that Tuesday, Mum said I could have a hot chocolate in McDonald's, but then said there was no time as she wanted to get the 4:30 bus home. So I started freaking out, saying, "You said I could have a hot chocolate." I had been looking forward to that hot chocolate, and that upset me. Everyone was once again staring at me. Food is very important to me, by the way, if you haven't already guessed. Then on that Thursday, I went to my nearest city and someone jumped the bus queue when I was second in line and another lady was first. I had a confrontational episode and said, "Excuse me, other people were before you in the queue," but she just ignored me. I was full on boiling with anger. I had palpitations, I was red in the face, I was dizzy, and I was stimming with my hands. Then, when I got back to the town where I live, there was no time to get bread and milk, as Mum wanted to get the next bus home, as our bus service is 1 hour. She wanted to get the bread and milk in our corner shop, so once again I started freaking out, saying, "Well, what if it's sold out? I won't be able to have my crush and milkshake tonight, and I won't have any bread for my egg on toast tomorrow." So we had to stay out. So yeah, right now things are difficult. I'm convinced my autism is worsening. It's almost like my brain is becoming more and more damaged. I cannot deal with going out. Everything triggers me. I also cannot stay home on my own now due to crippling anxiety. I don't even know if autism has the ability to regress, but it certainly feels that way in my life. Has anyone else found that their autism has regressed over the years? Or maybe you found that your symptoms have gotten better? Please let me know in the comments below.